Hey guys, what's up? This is Joe with another origami tutorial for you. Sorry I haven't been doing anything in a while. I've been having a lot of computer problems lately, but now that that's fixed, I can come back and give you a seasonal tutorial for this one. This tutorial will teach you how to make an origami turkey. So, first steps, ironically, are the bird base. So, just do all the primary folds, the diagonals. If you already know how to do the bird base, you can skip forward until after it's finished, or if you want to review, you can just watch the rest right here, because I'm going to be walking you through how to make the bird base. So you fold in half diagonally, and you do that on the other side as well. Okay, once you've done that, then you're going to fold it in half both ways. And I'm going to repeat myself, but I think I'm going to say this in every tutorial I ever make. Sharp folds will give you really good models, so make sure you're using your fingernail and pressing down so you get nice sharp folds. Run them over a few times so that you know it's really nice and crisp. Okay? So once you've completed all of those folds, the next step, flip it over to the color you don't want the bird to be. So in this case, I want my turkey to be brown because there are no yellow turkeys as far as I know. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of the diagonal folds, pinch it back, and press the center down like that. So it should be able to fold like this. See that? Alright, and then once you fold like that, then they can come together down like this. Okay? Should press it flat. I mean, there's a number of ways you can do it, but that's the way I prefer because it's very quick, easy. Okay, so now you have your bird base complete with one open side and one closed side right here. So what you're going to start off with is just like the crane. You're going to take, making sure the open side is facing you, folds so that these edges are running right along the center crease. So it should look like that. There. Okay. That strong fold. Make sure you're only doing one layer. See how there's two layers here? Make sure you're only folding in one layer. Alright, and do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And then, now there's an imaginary line. I'll zoom in a little bit. Alright, so there's going to be an imaginary line right here where the paper, edge of the paper is. And right there, you fold back like that. Alright, and then you can fold forward. All you want to do is make a crease on that line. Alright, so once you've done that, flip it over. And then again with the open side facing you, just fold it in so the edges run along the center crease. Okay, so now you've got this, and This is still part of what you would do if you were making the origami crane. If you haven't seen my video on how to make the origami crane, you should check that out next. You open up the flaps right here, just a little bit, like that, and you take the first layer right here, okay? So there's still, you can still see a crease running down right here, but it should open up the first layer, and you press it back, and as you do so, the sides should start to cave in. Alright, see? And if you help press it down, making sure it doesn't crumple at the corners, because sometimes it likes to do that, it should compress down like this, okay? So, make those folds nice and tight, flip it over, and do it again. So I'll show it one more time. You peel up the edges or the sides, open up the first layer, and just push it back. Alright. And it should close on itself like that. Okay, finalize the folds. Alright, zoom back out so you can see the whole model. Alright, so this is first step for making the base. Now just fold these parts down that we just made. See, it looks like this. Fold the first layer, fold it down like that, flip it over, fold that down too. So now it looks like this. Okay, so next step, actually I should zoom back in. Shrunk it. Okay. So I fold the tip down to that point right there. Alright, and this should actually be a really strong crease because it's going to be used later. Once you've folded one way, unfold it, flip it over, and refold on this side. So that's very accurate. Alright, sweet. Now you're going to take one of the layers right here. Notice you have two little things here. Bottom layer right here, and you have the top layer. So you're going to take the top layer, fold it up like this, and then you're going to fold it back down just so that this fold is going to meet on that crease we just made right there. See how they line up? Okay, and make sure you're keeping this center crease continuous right here too. Okay, so it should look like that. Flip it over, do the same thing, fold it back up, fold it down, line up the creases. Alright, these will become his legs, by the way. So the next step would be to take this edge right here and fold it in towards the center crease. So not touching it, but getting close to touching it. You can look at how I'm doing it when I finish. Do one. Alright, so I made it look like this, so it's close, but not quite touching. Alright, so crease it, and then this bubble right here, just press it down like that. Make a good fold. Should look like that. Alright, and then do it on the other side. Try and keep it looking parallel. Asymmetrical turkeys aren't exactly the most attractive, so try and keep it consistent. Okay, press it down again. Alright, and that's how it should look. Flip it over, do it again on the other side. Okay? So next, you take this leg right here, and then you're going to pinch on either side so that it folds like this, okay? And you bend it up while it's still folded so that it sticks straight up like that. Should stick straight out. And press the sides down flat. Okay? Now bend it over one way. And then to the other side. Okay, and then while it's laying flat like this, fold it over on itself so that it runs parallel with the center line right there. Okay, press that down so it should look like this. If you didn't get it, just rewind, go back. It's a little tricky. Unfold it so back to here, and then try and open it up. So I'll bring it a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. Try and open it up, and then on those creases you just made, it should fold inverse like that. Okay? And the final result will look like this. Copy that onto the other side again. Pinch, bring it up, press down on either side, fold it one way, back on the other, like that, and then fold down so it runs parallel with the center crease again, and then turn it inside out, and reverse those two folds you just made. Okay, so that's what it should look like. Those are the legs. Now the next part is a lot like the crane. Again, this is to form the head. So notice the legs are on this side, or at least they should be on this side or both sides like that. Alright, legs on this side. So on this side right here, this is going to be the head. So open that up like that, and fold this edge into the center. And this time you can let it touch the center crease. Alright, press that down. Same thing on this side. Alright, and close it. Now you're going to take that side you just did the fold on, and keeping it half open, like this, so it's half open, fold it up, and fold it up, and then close it on itself, and position it kind of around there. I mean, it's not a big deal exactly where it is, but this is good. And then pinch it closed right here. Okay. Now, still like the crane, just take this, bend it down like that. This looks like it's gonna have a really long beak, but trust me, just go with it for now. Hold it down like this. Okay. Now do that again right here. Fold back on the beak. until it's about here, like that. Okay, now take that little piece right here and bend it down again. This is the last time. And that'll form the little waddle. What else does this have? Kind of like that. Okay. Now the next part is the tail, which is a cool part, in my opinion. So you're going to open up just like you did the head and fold it up as far as it'll go without ripping it. Then close it, but don't pinch yet. Don't pinch yet. Close it, and remember that fold we made, the crease that runs right here, right there. That crease marks where the tail will end. So right there where the crease meets the edge of the paper. That's right where we want it. So when it's positioned there, then you can pinch it closed down here. Alright, after you've done that, now we'll form the wings. So this right here, this flap right here, just take it and fold it down as far as it'll go on this side, all the way to the point on this side. So it's folded down as far as it'll go. And it should partially cover the leg right there. Alright, flip it over. Same on the other side. Okay, now back to the tail. So now you're going to have an imaginary line from here, draw a line to here. I don't know how well you can see that, but it should be around there. Okay, and then you're going to fold this valley fold along that line. That. Okay, flip it over and do the same thing. Fold from the back of the legs here where my thumb is all the way up to right here. When you pinch both sides, it should kind of do something like that, or maybe it'll be up here. Either way. Alright, so here's how turkey's tail starts to become flat. So now, facing the rear, you take the tip of the tail and you fold it down, really good, about halfway between here and here, so just kind of around there. You don't need to be super precise about where exactly, but you do need to do your best to keep the center crease lined up here. Alright, fold that. Alright, face the front again, and just to give it a little bit more of a round feel, take these corners right here and fold them back a little bit, just a little bit, so it looks like this. That'll make it look a little bit more round, more natural. Okay, so here, and then you'll notice these little flaps right here. I'm going to zoom in. It's starting to get a little bit hard to see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so on the tail, right here, there's these flaps on either side. Take it and bend it down as far as it'll go. So like that. Sorry, my fingers were hiding it, but it's a pretty easy concept. Just take it and fold it down. It'll look like this. Same on the other side. Do my best not to cover it up with my fingers again. But, oops, Okay, like that. Alright, and so now you can leave the tail as it is if you want, but personally for me, I like to texture things a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some repetitive folds that spiral out from the center. Okay, so now I'm done texturing, so the tail looks like it has feathers now. The last few steps involve the legs. So you're going to take the leg and kind of like the crane, fold it inside of itself like that, bend it up. You can keep these legs really short because I mean turkeys aren't exactly known for being long-legged, and pinch them down so their feet come out flat like this. They look a little long and pointy, but we're going to fix that soon. So if you folded it flat like this, take the tip, fold it back underneath the foot like that. That has a more normal size foot. Do the same thing on the other side. Try and keep your legs the same length, because that would be awkward if it wasn't. Okay, so now there's the feet done. Okay. Now it's a pretty decent looking turkey, right? The last step would be to face the turkey like this. Take these corners right here and fold these corners underneath a little bit so the turkey looks a little bit less boxy, like that. Same thing on the other side. Okay. This is the last final step, okay, for real. So now, right here where you folded under, pull them slightly apart and press down on the top right here. So it should start to inflate the back a little bit. This is kind of tricky and you might have to use other fingers to brace things, but there we go. Should pop out like that. So now the turkey's more plump for Thanksgiving. So there it should look somewhat like this. You have tail textured or not, it'll look great. Inflated back, even has a little waddle. This model doesn't stand on its own, but it can lean back kind of on its tail. Anyway, it looks really cool. So there you go, origami turkey. Have a happy Thanksgiving.